I'm going to do series on asset allocation and the importance of asset allocation, and why the portfolios like BAF or Balanced Advantage Fund, which I think Naren was the originator, are so useful for the retail investor. First of all, very few individual investors understand the importance of asset allocation, and doing asset allocation is a tremendous control on ego and one's ability to make rules and live by them. When you see these videos, rebalancing looks very easy and very simple, but it is not so simple. You have to say, on the basis of PE or PB or business cycle, I will be in so much of equity and in so much of debt. Apart from that, within the equity asset class, how much to be in value, how much to be in growth, small cap, mid cap, right? That is again an asset allocation within the equity class. People understand this at the philosophical level, but when it comes to actually doing it and implementing it, it is not so simple. Now, if you have already done a nice asset allocation and started with a good portfolio with the help of a professional, it is fairly obvious that if you do not do rebalancing, then the whole purpose is lost, right? What is the point in starting off with a fantastic asset allocation, doing very well, and then completely abandoning it because some part of it is doing very well? So you had, say, 3% or 4% in metals and you were happy with it. Now that 4% in metals has become 12% in metals because metals have gone up, right? The other parts of the economy have not gone up, the other parts of your portfolio have not gone up, but metals have gone up. And then you start pretending, oh, metals is just beginning, I have to still, there is still lot more to ride. Maybe there is lot more to ride, maybe there is not, but you have to be in it on a scientific basis. So having understood what is asset allocation, that is keeping your assets in various business classes, you have to then say why will you reallocate and why, because if you do not reallocate, it is going to be very potentially bad for your portfolio. Periodic rebalancing, I have done a video earlier on periodic rebalancing. Doesn't matter whether you do it on a daily basis or a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, but do remember, asset allocation means changes, and change always means capital gains tax and transaction cost, right? There is always a tax on all of that. You will pay STT, right? So don't do that. So be careful as to how often you do. Once in a year is definitely useful. And when you do some asset allocation, asset reallocation, which is a rebalancing, you should do it simply because your ratio with which you started has gone wrong. Let us say you were 50-50 in debt and equity and you were doing very well, and suddenly equity has boomed so much that it is now 75% of your portfolio. That is, instead of 1:1, you are now gone to 3:1, right? Because debt has also shrunk and equity has boomed up. It's perfectly all right. It doesn't matter to me. I would be very happy with 75% in equity. But the question is, you were happy with 1:1, you were happy with 50-50 in debt and equity, then there is absolutely no justification for you not to rebalance at 75-25. Your risk-taking ability has not gone up. There is no reason for you to justify the 75-25 portfolio if 50-50 was fair enough, right? If you were comfortable with that. Now what happens is, when the market is booming, you feel good saying, wow, my equity is doing well, let it continue, let it run. So you're now 75-25. Afterwards the market falls and all your gains in equity go away and it shrinks to 40% and 60% is debt. This is not because debt has gone up, this is because equity has gone down. Now at this stage you're going to feel bad. Now if you had rebalanced to a 50-50 portfolio, because that is what originally you planned, of course you will lose money when equity falls, but the fall will be less because only the 50% equity will fall and not the whole portfolio. Here it was 75%, and when that fell, let's say 50%, so you came down to 37.5, right? Here you will go to 25, but you will still have a lot of debt. You will be able to remove some of the debt assets and buy more equity. Exactly how you love to buy equity when it is down, you have to have money. and that will happen only when you take some money off the table when the market is in the boom. The most important thing why you should control your ego is because after that, when you go to a party and you say you have sold, and someone will say, oh my god, you sold Vedanta at 300, now it is 380 or some shit like that. And this is bound to happen because asset allocation and rebalancing is not here to hit the tops. You will never hit the top simply because so much of my money is in debt. At some stage you will look very smart if you were 100% in equity when the equity market is booming, but you will look ridiculously wrong when the equity market comes down. This taking money off the table at the top is what asset allocation does. So it needs tremendous ego control to say, this is the rule, this is why I am rebalancing, and this is how I will rebalance. If you do not have so much of self-control, it is better to involve your spouse or your children and say, these are the rules by which I will live my life and we will all do it together. Remember, it is the family money. Also remember, when you're 25, if you don't do asset balancing or rebalancing, it doesn't really matter because the total amount of assets you have may not be much, maybe 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs or even less than that. So it doesn't really matter. But by the time you're 35, you will have some regret when the market falls and you will feel guilty. You will feel that I had made the rules and still violated. So at 20, 25, you're looking for growth. It doesn't matter whether you're more in equity, but at the age of 55, you're looking for tremendous amount of stability. You now don't want any surprise. You don't want to see your portfolio shrink and things like that. And by your time you're 80, you may be wanting just simplicity of your portfolio. You may say, let everything be in debt instruments, let everything be in annuity plans, I have to get a monthly pension of so much. I don't want any volatility in my portfolio. So your own point of view changes. Your own view on how much you should be in equity and how much you should be in debt changes. Also, at some stage, there is one big change which most private investors ignore, is the person who is going to manage that portfolio after you or along with you. Now, suppose you've created a huge portfolio which has got equity funds, debt funds, art, real estate, and what have gold and or other metals, maybe some platinum and silver, and you've added all that, and you have cash. Let me not complicate it by saying it is multi-currency. You've not done that, but you have international diversification. You have done all this, and you're sitting with your spouse. Your wife is sitting with you and understanding this, and she says, this is too complicated. Now don't say, no, it's not too complicated, it's quite simple, I can explain it to you. That's not the purpose. What she thinks is far more important. Now, once I remember sitting with a friend, again with a very complicated portfolio, about 25-30 crores into all these asset classes. I don't think he had a currency call, but he had international assets. And international, he had multi-currency, right? He had Japan, he had Korea, he had China, he had Europe and US. So multi-currency, huge portfolio. So he was explaining it to his wife, and I said, let me just ask her one thing. Will you be wanting to manage all this? And she said, no, I don't want to manage all this. I will keep a very simple portfolio of maybe bank fixed deposits and one index fund, and that's about it. I will not do this. So he felt very bad, saying, I've built this portfolio with so much of trouble and all. And she said, look, the portfolio is supposed to feed us for our retirement. 30 crores is more than sufficient. Our sons don't want this money. They have created their own wealth abroad. They are not even wanting to come back. For whom are you creating? I am happy living off it. So 30 crores, if you put it into an annuity, just for argument's sake, and even if you get 1% return per annum, which is 30 lakhs, that was more than what this couple needed, right? So at some stage, you want simplicity of your portfolio. So you do asset allocation, then you do rebalancing, and then with simplicity, and also realizing how to hold on to winners, because some winners you may want to hold on. You bought Wipro at 100 rupees, today it is such a high price. You may want to hold on to something. So creating a portfolio which manages all this, and the simplicity, what your wife wants or what your daughter wants or what you yourself want because of old age, bringing all this together is the job of an amateur. No professional can do it for you. Take the help of a professional to do this, but don't pretend you can do it with the precision of a professional. You don't need to do it. You're not a fund manager. You're managing your funds for your goals, your focus, As long as you can achieve that, be happy. Don't keep comparing yourself to others and feeling miserable. Thank you.